Here we go then.
Adventure Guys! Adventure Guys! Now it's time for Adventure Guys!
All right. Welcome to Adventure Guys, the podcast for humans and dogs. I'm Eric the Human.
And I am Nick the Human. And
Cool.
happy Tuesday morning to you. Top of the morning to you, our hardcore fans listening to this in the first week of February. We made it through the first month of the year. Shit was crazy. There was something different every week to occupy our minds.
Oh my God.
I hope you all held on to your Dogecoin. And
I have $80 of Dogecoin right now.
you do?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I hate this. I hate this so much. As soon as
Wait,
I'm going to get out of this as soon as I can.
Okay, I was going to say, what do you hate about it? Because there's a lot to hate. I'm sure the anxiety that is inside
Yes.
of you. Yeah.
It's too toxic for me. The anxiety is terrible. I've been a stock investor for 2 days now, and I can't handle it.
Well,
It's
you know why?
too much for me to
Because
take.
when you're investing in Dogecoin at this point, Eric, I don't mean this as an offense. Like, I'm not making fun of you, but it's like a gambling thing at this point, right? Like if normally when you're investing in stocks, you might go, I believe this is a longer term play than just, I don't know, 48 hours. Like, I believe, unless you're day trading or whatever, but like theoretically, I believe in this company. It's going to do well. A lot of this is more, right? You're in Dogecoin, not because you believe in it as a currency, but because you believe, because you want to make a little bit of money, right?
Yeah, well, I got GameStop stock first.
Nice.
But I bought $50 of GameStop, on Wednesday, and it went up a little bit, and then they shut it down.
I know.
And like that was something I believed in because like, wait, I can make money, but more importantly, billionaires lose money.
I know it was
This is the greatest win-win ever.
yeah. And then
But
Robinhood shuts down in order to protect them.
right, so then I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't. Like, I'm not going to sell because then the billionaires get to make their money back.
Yeah.
So I just have to hold this. And now I have this stupid fucking app that I've never used before that's giving me anxiety. I have to do something. I can buy Dogecoin.
Oh my god. Well, fucking, I gotta read more into it. It was sounding like Robinhood did need to freeze because they needed to, like, when you're making trades, like, they kind of float you the money, I think, a little bit before the money reaches them. Like, because you can, like, I was like, oh, I'm going to put $20 in. Now I'm going to buy $20 of NAKD. Fuck it. I want $30 more. And you're just, like, buying. Apparently, they needed to, like, I think needed to catch up because they literally didn't have enough on hand to trade for people. But if that was the case, why didn't their CEO just fucking say that in a clear way? Instead, he's giving all these dumbass interviews. Did you watch any of those interviews he did, like on CNBC or with Chris Cuomo? Yeah, he's just talking.
I've not watched anything.
He's talking in circles.
They released those stocks, but you can't buy fractional shares anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm priced out. So I just have to hang on to the $50 that I have in there.
It's really fucked, man. And it's how about, I saw somebody tweeted, it was like, you have Elon Musk, AOC, Ted Cruz, and Ben Shapiro all on the same side of one issue. They're like, the United States hasn't been this united since Pokemon Go. Someone said it's
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, what a wonderful summer that was.
Yeah, you did that on tour, right?
It was perfect. It came out about a week into our 7.5 week
Was this Phantom Arrival
national
time?
tour. No, 2016.
2016. Oh wow, it was way longer ago than I thought.
Yeah, it was the perfect tour activity. 2016 was my 200 plus show year.
Oh,
So I was on the road like for 8 months total. Even when the Holophonics weren't touring, I was doing solo tours. So it was just such a great tour pastime to be able to play Pokemon Go and to walk through random towns all over the country and see other people playing Pokemon Go and high five everyone and catch whatever was around together.
I can truly picture all the Holophonics just rolling around. Was everyone in on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can just picture all the characters in that band being really. I could picture like Willie being just like super fucking stoked, and Harold, of course, like
Yeah, we would scope out like parks and hiking areas whenever we would get to a new town just to go play Pokemon Go.
Oh, it's so great. Oh man. You know what's not? Well, I was gonna before I okay. There's might be some new listeners that are listening to this. I just want to throw out before we get into any of this today. We've said it before in the show, and I'm going to say it again. If Lumpy Space Princess is your favorite character on the show, we would love to hear from you. Our email is didyousee@gmail.com. LSP equals heart eyes emoji. Please tell us. Because we got another LSP episode on our hands. Eric?
let's talk
let's get
about
into
it.
Episode discussion.
Yeah, so Lumpy.
I loved this episode.
Yeah, you did.
I thought this episode was amazing. I can't remember watching an episode that was this funny.
It's hilarious. Dude, the jokes and the gags were packed in there so tightly. Now, here's a question I have for you, though, is that we talked about in Adventure Time, they eschew tropes, and one of the tropes of a cartoon is a genre episode. Obviously, they're not immune to the genre episode. We've talked at length about a film noir multiple times, including on a last episode. But this is a crime. This is a Law and Order genre episode.
Yeah, it's a procedural.
It's a procedural, but you stand with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not something that I watch.
Yeah.
Regularly. I've never been a fan of those Law and Order type shows, but this episode of Adventure Time was such a great parody, but also standalone, just jam-packed with jokes. Every single beat was hilarious. It moved so fast-paced. I was laughing out loud the entire 11 minutes. I was beside myself. I couldn't believe how awesome this episode was.
Yeah, like they really didn't miss a moment. Like they're doing this in here, a great parody of in Law and Order when they ask the suspect and like a really specific question that's like they're working out like it's a pharmacy. And they're like, hey, do you remember any guy coming in? She's like, I don't remember any guys. Come to think of it. And like with no prompting, just explains like to a T everything the guy. It's kind of like John Mulaney's joke he has where he talks about bartender.
Yeah, that's Melissa Villaseñor as the pharmacist.
Oh, it is. I was trying to figure out who that pharmacist voice was. But
yeah.
But even during that, right, they take out Jake is becoming all sorts of different things. That's cop things. He's a cop piece of paper, and Finn is trying to write on him, and like they're battling over whether or not he can write on him, and then eventually he does, and he starts chuckling like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Dude, yeah, so Melissa Villaseñor is giving a hilarious monologue, and at the same time, there are like 5 or 6 visual gags completely independent of that. This episode is packed.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Watch this one if you want a good laugh. So basically, the show opens. LSP busts through Princess Bubblegum's like chain.
No. Show opens with some unrelated cat business.
Oh, yes.
What is going on?
Also funny. They're Finn and Jake are holding cats. I thought they were dolls at first, but then it turns out they're real cats. They're role playing. Eventually, they're wearing suits and they're businessmen, and there's like wine. I was like, what is this?
It makes no sense, and there's not an explanation.
No. I just love it's sort of a great glimpse into what's happening between adventures. It's just them doing shit like that.
Princess Bubblegum's role in that whole scenario was so confusing because she was obviously there and obliging the situation, but I'm not sure why.
I like to think that they came over for something unrelated, and then Princess Bubblegum was attending to princess duties or science duties or something, and they were bored and just started having a ball with her cats or something. But anyway, then LSP busts through the door and says, I've been robbed, and is freaking out. Now, if you know LSP is going to freak out, nothing's good is going to come of this. We've covered multiple episodes where her irrational behavior causes in like almost the whole Candy Kingdom to burn down. So wisely at this point, Princess Bubblegum's like tranquilizes her, and
she just has that huge syringe lying around.
and gives her so much, which I don't blame her for, that LSP is just knocked out cold and has to go into the hospital. So with only the clue of it was pizzas, they go out going, I heard her say pizza right away. But
yeah.
clearly,
I think I remembered that was the eventual gag at the end of the episode.
But clearly, Finn and Jake think it's Pete, and they go to her hotel room. There's pizza, everything out. Again, the gags just start because when they go to the hotel, there's a Law and Order sound happening, and then they're going on, and Jake gets Finn gets BMO out of his backpack to help with stuff.
Yeah, BMO's perfect in this episode. As always.
Yeah, BMO is like great making chalk outlines. At one point, they go, hey, there's blood on the carpet. BMO, I'm going to need you to take that and do a full blood analysis. And BMO's like, can do. Which is like, BMO can do blood analysis? This video game system, boy? Cool. I love it. I love you, BMO, so go for it.
Right. It's like in The Creeps.
Yeah.
Where they ask him to use his ghost sensor or something.
Yes.
And BMO says, yeah, but it's not something he's capable of.
No. With this one, he apparently is okay. But then they decide to like go to the pharmacy, was it? And one of the better gags, Jake, for the first time, turns into a car and blasts from like the third floor of this hotel down to the pharmacy across the street, and they go in. Which is just, I don't know if I'd ever seen Jake do something so violent with his powers like that.
Jake is out of control in this episode.
Yeah, at some point, doesn't he say, I can't stop transforming into cop things?
Yeah.
He's addicted. He just loves it.
He's having, something's going on with Jake, but he's as hyper as he ever is in the show.
Yeah, so then they're talking to Melissa Villaseñor as Anne, which is the person who works at the pharmacy. And she just starts, like, apropos of nothing. It's like, yeah, I remember him. His name was Pete Sassafras. And, like, he told me this and that. And, like, giving all the details. And while this is happening, Jake is a pad of paper. Then Jake becomes, like, a policeman's hat. Jake becomes, like, 5 things, like you were saying, Eric. Like a badge. Jake becomes a lot. He also becomes a magnifying glass. And later, I'll talk about the most horrifying thing that Jake becomes. But, yeah, they go out and then they like go to catch this guy who they are convinced is Pete Sassafras. He gets on a train and they're stopped by 2 Candy Kingdom police officers. Is that what those blue orbs were?
Yeah, I guess. Not that there's ever any indication from any other point in the show that the Candy Kingdom has cops or detectives like that.
Yeah, and then they're automatically stupid. As all sort of cop or guard figures in this show are always dumb as shit, right? Like,
yeah.
Even in Flame Kingdom, where we were last week, those guards were dumb. Obviously, the banana guards. Now the cops here are weird and dumb because then Jake and Finn are like, no, we're cops like you. They take a lick of Jake and immediately go, yep, tastes like cop, let him go. I think that's some social commentary buried there a little bit in Adventure Time.
I know. I wonder if that joke was originally bacon related.
Oh, wow!
Could have been. We know Jake likes to eat bacon, so it would have made sense.
Oh my god! Yeah, that would have been one step too far, probably. That's definitely a revision.
I love. By the way, seeing some of the like behind the scenes images of storyboards before they get revised and stuff. And there's all sorts of obscenities written all over them. They're just saying like, fuck this character, or like, I don't like, this is some bullshit, like making little notes in the margins of the storyboards, like before it goes through.
Wow. Is that online?
Yeah, you can definitely find there. Some of them are in the art book.
Oh.
And like they try and censor it out, but there's some that make it through. It funny.
Literally says fuck this guy.
There's a lot in Steven Universe, in Rebecca Sugar's like notes and drawings and storyboards. There's profanities all over him. It's great.
Oh my god. I want to see that. Hey, did you see that? Did you see I posted this past week the Rebecca Sugar Donald Glover Comic-Con?
Yeah. What year was that from?
2013.
Wow, a long time ago.
Long time ago now. That performance is a little shaky on numerous accounts. I don't want to dog anyone on it, but Rebecca Sugar, I was like, you gotta have a lot of confidence to fucking bust out a ukulele and like improperly mic'd and sing into it in front of like thousands of people. That was
right, with Donald Glover.
with Donald Glover, yeah. Although still emerging Donald Glover at this point, but I was very impressed with her. But anyway, so then they go. Then eventually, Jake turns into a car and they drive through the woods. They get on the train. Sean was there, and this is the problem with stretchy powers, because I think about this all the time. But it's like, dude, Sean was like almost tired of it and just went, dude, just stretchy into one big step and then just step in front of the train, stop it, and get the guy. I was like, yeah, with stretchy powers is like maybe one of the ultimate superpowers, because you can just do so much with it,
But yeah, there's one episode, I forget which one, but Jake does like a Terminator 2 type thing where he stretches through a grate, which technically is not I know that there was discussion among the crew on whether or not Jake was allowed to do it. And they decided that it was funny. So, yes, he is allowed to Terminator 2, which would mean that he could stretch into a completely separate piece.
Yeah.
Like he could disconnect himself and then reconnect himself.
Yeah. And this episode, right, so now Jake's a car, he's driving. Now, I want to talk about the next scene, because this is also almost sort of Terminator 2-y, is that they bring this guy, Pete Sassafras, into the jail. He's like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about, basically. Jake's already turned into a gun at this point, by the way, and punched him in the face. Now, they're in the jail, punched him in the face, and then he goes, the guy's like, hey, I want like an attorney, right? Jake takes his hand, it goes back behind the guy, and he morphs his hand into a lawyer character. And the guy and then it has talking and has its own voice. It even tricks the guy. And then they eventually laugh at him for being foolish enough to believe in this fake Jake lawyer. Then the lawyer goes, get used to this. He's going to make this for 25 years. So now he's sort of a fellow inmate. And then later they go to leave and he goes, guilty, like he's the judge, but it's all the same character. It's kind of funny and weird, but also like really kind of disturbing at this point.
Oh, yeah. Very disturbing. Even more so because that never gets resolved. Pete Sassafras remains in prison.
Yeah.
They never come back to be like, oh, our bad.
I know. It's funny. And after that scene where they're being very disturbing, they go out and sit in the car eating donuts and go, we should like become cops full time. We should just do, like, we are good at this. And then immediately everything starts to crumble. I think BMO delivers the news that it wasn't blood, it was jelly. Or no, sauce.
Tomato
sauce.
Then it was from pizza. It wasn't saying Pete Sassafras. It was saying
Pizza Sassy, which is a weird name, but yeah. and then we find out that it was really just that lumpy space princess was in love with the pizza delivery guy and didn't want him to leave when she was staying at this hotel. And it's like, God damn it, your romantic escapades get us again. And Jake says something similar to that. This is ridiculous. Now, I have a question. At this point, I know this was explained in a previous episode. Why is LSP in Candy Kingdom so much?
She was kicked out of Lumpy Space.
By who? By her parents?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or she ran away from home because of a disagreement with them or something to that nature.
Now, was it founded? I missed that episode. Was it founded, or was it her being, yet again, LSP about it?
I don't remember.
We'll watch it some other time.
Probably a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I think it was something that like a regular person would absolutely get upset about.
Yeah.
But LSP made the situation worse.
I have another question. Did you see the snail?
Yeah, I saw the snail. Did you see the snail?
I did see the snail.
Hey,
All
play that theme
right.
song, baby.
Looking in the scenery throughout the land of Ooh. He lies in wait for me and you. We saw the snail. We saw the snail. We saw the snail. Searching far and wide, we build our eyes. We saw it 'cause we're the adventure guys. We saw the snail. We saw the snail. We saw the snail. We saw the snail. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it was
We
great.
did it.
I-
Snail was in the jail.
Snail was in the jail. It was quick, but it was there. It was pretty sizable. I finished the episode and I was like, fuck, I didn't see the snail. I said, Sean, did you see the snail? He said, yeah, I saw it. I was like, now, did I miss, like, was it, he said, Nick, you publicly scolded me on air about this. Maybe 2 episodes. He goes, I will never say another thing about the snail. So then I was like laser focused on finding this goddamn thing. I'm glad I did it. Like when you're really looking for it, have you done that on viewings where you're like, okay, I'm sitting down with a goal to see this snail, and then like you're watching the episode, but like you're scanning every scene, every shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, if I start the episode with that in my mind, I cannot rest until I actually see it.
Yeah.
Like it's distracting until the scene with the snail comes up.
Big time. Okay, we're on the same page. I've been doing ear training. I've been doing ear training. I'm hitting a chord there.
All the trivia and miscellanea.
Have you ever used the app Earpeggio?
No.
Yeah, Sean and my roommate Corey recommended to me. Now, you're not going to need to do this as someone basically has a master's in music, but I realized that I think I've said to you that ear training and remembering pitches that I just heard was not my strong suit. So this app is kind of cool where it's like it's basically ear training 101 but done digitally with an app and just so much more efficient. I was thinking back about ear training. I was like, you got like a 50-something-year-old guy teaching ear training and they like have a CD going and they're like, okay, track 1, blah, blah, write it down. Was that a 5th or a 6th? You know what I mean? I was like, God, that was so dry. Now they got on an app and it's like basically like a video game. It's kind of good.
Did you take ear training classes at Delaware?
I did. I took ear training 2. Or no, I took ear training 1 and 2.
Yeah, pedagogically speaking, I don't think those classes were very helpful.
No.
As for being so late in the game in like someone's musical development. Like if you're taking an ear training class for the first time at age 18 or 19 and you've been playing music for like 10 years at that point, like some things are going to be so confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a big road we can go down. We do in my household, as I have 2. I have a master's and a guy who's going to get his doctorate in music next year. We just talk about the merits of music education, as we've done with Sean probably on this show. I'm realizing, and just how weird it is. They had my roommate had a class. It was like jazz theory, and they walked in and he was like, "You guys have all taken crazy music theory like through 4 at this point. I think a lot of you have." And he's like, "You've done 4 levels at your training." He goes, "Cool. I want you guys to write down Mary had a little lamb, just from memory, just write it down on paper. And like half the class couldn't do it. He was like, now that's a problem. He's like, you've got your ear training. Like, you've done all this crazy music theory and stuff, but you can't just write. You can't like put music in your head onto paper, or like that's like probably the core thing you need to be able to do. Synthesize music in your head into like into understanding what it is.
That should really be taught at the same time reading music is, but
we don't do it. I guess Suzuki method is sort of like that, right? Where it's like they play it and you're like, that's how this sounds. My fingers make those sounds like this.
Suzuki method is very specialized. It's for accomplishing certain goals. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a reliable, holistic
music
method of music.
Well, how
learning.
do we? I really took us in a different direction from Miscellaneous Mania. I'm gonna push the eject button on that. Do we have any good Miscellaneous Mania? Obviously, I loved knowing those Miscellaneous Mania. The Law and Order references were good.
This was a pretty rad guest spot for Jim Cumming.
Oh, where?
He was the voice of one of the cops. He was the voice of Pete Sassafras and the pizza delivery guy.
Ah.
He's kind of like a legend of voice acting.
He did
a lot of Disney stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at his credits right now. I heard the voice and immediately was like, whoa, who's that?
His voice, I like to think on a scale of John DiMaggio to Harvey Fierstein, Jim Cumming is like right in the middle.
Now here's something I was thinking. Dude, we've done so many of these podcasts now. Sometimes I can't remember what are thoughts and what are things that we've discussed on episodes at this point, especially when it comes to anything cartoon related. But it's interesting to me that you think John DiMaggio, you think Tom Kenny, and you think Jim Cummings, and you think these are guys that make great voices and they do different things, but they're not like Melissa Villaseñor. Like, I love her. I think she's hilarious, but like she's really good, right, at like traditional impressionist, like nailing other people's voices, right? Like that's kind of one of her big strengths. But these other guys don't really do that. They just make up unique, like fucked up weird voices that are interesting to listen to. And I feel like that's like a really interesting distinction where it's not like, you know, she does the perfect. It's not like Tom Kenny does like, he does like the perfect Wall Street Bro, or someone does X does the perfect Valley Girl, or whatever, like the perfect archetypes. It's like, no, they do perfect weird askew characters or something. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Jim Cummings is great. He does have a type that he does more often than others. Usually like a big gruff older male character,
which we got in this episode's Cop.
Yeah. And Pete Sassafras.
And Pete. Nice.
He does the villain on OKKO. He's Lord Boxman on that show. He's great, but he doesn't do a whole lot anymore because he's kind of up there in age. I think he's like maybe semi-retired, something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be
cool that they got him.
Yeah, I wonder if like once you become that much of a legend, you just get paid a fuck ton for every time you do a voice, or.
Yeah, I don't know what they make. I think it's like not that much though.
Yeah, that's why they do a fucking million voices everywhere, probably.
Yeah.
Any other good pieces of trivia?
Not really.
Yeah, I feel like we covered some good stuff. Yeah.
Let's do a quick. Did you see the mail?
Oh, cool.
Mail.
Where did you get that mail sample from?
America Online.
Oh, that is it? That's the titular.
Yes.
Wow, it's great. Hit us with it.
All right, so we got a follow up from our buddy Moctezuma about the random number generator.
Yeah. I saw.
So they sent us this program that can randomize episodes better than the method we were previously using.
Yeah. Did you download
But
it?
I can't do anything with it, and I'm assuming you can't either because we're both Mac users.
Yeah.
The dreaded .exe files.
Shoot. Well, I really was stoked about getting that email. So let's we'll respond. Hopefully you heard this episode. Moctezuma, I'm sorry.
So thank you for all that you have done. Unfortunately, I cannot.
Use it at this time, but I don't think this is dead by any means.
No. Well, in the meantime, let's just go to our regular shitty random number generator to pick next week's episode.
What are we gonna watch next week? What are we gonna watch? It's the episode generator.
No.
No, don't tell me it happened again.
We got episode 61, which is season 3, episode 9, which was the first Fiona and Cake episode.
Didn't we watch?
We just did that last week.
Yeah. Wow, dude, this is getting weird.
That's a veto. Veto, veto, veto. All right. One more time.
What are we gonna watch next week? What are we gonna watch? It's the episode generator.
All right, this is a good one. We got episode 177, season 6, episode 21, Dentist.
Oh, I just like the idea of dentists in the land of Ooh. I've never seen this one, but I'm very excited.
It's hilarious. This is one of those classic examples, I think, of some weird, random, like 20th century tradition that somehow made its way into the land of Ooh 1,000 years later.
That concept,
terrible game of telephone.
That game just delights me so much. That whole aspect. All right, well, yeah, I had a lot of fun talking to you, Eric, this week. I hope everyone had fun listening. I was fired up this week about the fucking Robin Hood stock mess and how it felt. You know, I had some. Just bringing this full circle. Just had some. You know, just speaking to some friends about it, and they're like, "Well, it's just like it's just like a couple Redditors ran up a stock or two, or nothing." I'm like, "No, this is the beginning of class warfare."
It really puts into perspective things for me where, like, I am so poor and rich people are so rich.
I literally had the thought
this is not a way to fix that.
No, I literally thought this week, I was just like, why do rich people need so much money? I was just
makes me mad.
All right,
makes me anxious.
I'm leaving us on a weird note. I don't know why I didn't just say goodbye. But good luck fighting the good fight out there.
Yeah.
Rate on go to the Apple store, give Robin Hood 1 star, and then
give Adventure Guys 5 stars.
5 stars.
We're not on the Apple Store.
No, we're in the podcast app. So you're gonna have to click around your iPhone just a little bit, just a tad. It's not a big deal. It'll take you 3 minutes. Calm down. It's fine. It's easy. There, you see, you just did it. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, I have to leave.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Bye.